Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear and I'm here to assemble a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And to start things off, of course, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi. You can use other people's emotes, and if you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. I'm currently at 23 subscribers. The goal is to get to 30. I shut up about the number of subscribers I have when I hit 30. So if you would like to become a subscriber, you could do that and get the ball rolling. Or you want to gift a sub? Do you want to be the top of the gift sub leaderboard? You could do that. Or you do anonymously if you want to. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here. I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's doing well on the old internet. It's a Thursday. My allergies are better than they have been previously, but still not great. It got a little bit warmer, but I did yard work out today. Necessary yard work. I got the weed and feed. It is a combination fertilizer and weed killer because we got weeds that are growing better than the grass because it's March. So I got to get that taken care of. So I did that, which was good to do. And then I'll go in and try to mulch up the weeds later. We got the tree guys coming tomorrow to trim our trees, which will be good. It will make the bird in my front yard very mad. There's one bird in our front yard that just really wants to entice another bird to come join them. And it has not worked out. Maybe someday it will. But as of right now, has it? Let's go to the overhead camera. Boom, here's the overhead camera. It's the Lightning Z Gundam from Gundam Build Fighters Try. It's the Zeta Gundam with some extra stuff. And we're going to put more extra stuff on there soon. Now, I do like the Zeta Gundam. I like that it's a tall boy. We got long legs, which is just fun. That's fun for a kit. I like a Slender Man kit. Not Slenderman, a Slender Man, not the Slender Man or Slenderman. But yeah, good kit. Is ready for a big gun and for a big backpack that also has a big gun on it. And you can take the backpack off and put it on the kit. I do know what I'll be building next. I do have another model kit on deck that won the Patreon poll for my $10 patrons. And I do have stuff coming in the mail. I have 3 model kits in the mail, plus a model kit coming at some point from my Amazon wish list. And then also, I should say, one of those 3 kits that are coming in the mail is the entry grade kit, which I might save for like my birthday subathon, because those kits are easy to build. I also might build it. I'll tell you this. I don't know when in the year I'm going to be doing a charity stream, if I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be doing. So I should have something for that to build and kind of keep, just for emergencies. I do have a Pokemon kit, but that takes like 30 minutes to build. The Pokemon quick kits take no time at all. So we're body complete. It's time to work on the backpack part. So let's work on the backpack. And then we'll do the guns. I think there's just one gun. We do have a bunch of stickers left. These will be color correcting stickers for the backpack, and then also some stuff on the weapon, I believe. And then also we got these and I don't know where they go. I don't know what these are not beam sabers, I don't think. I don't know how they work out, but they're cool looking, so I think that might be part of the backpack, but I don't know. C2, D1. Let's do this thing. We've done very little with D because it's just the colors of, the red. We haven't used much in here. So we will get a little more red in this kit, which is good because it's a nice striking red color. I hope you're doing great out there on the old internet. And you had a fine week so far. If, like me, you are an AEW viewer, I need to let you know that Collision this weekend, 1 hour is airing on Saturday and 1 hour is airing on Sunday. They were taped in advance, and they will be airing after men's basketball on TNT. When? Question mark. 11 p.m.-ish? Maybe a little before, maybe a little after. We don't know. So I will be watching probably the Saturday hour I'll probably watch on Sunday, and the Sunday hour I'll probably watch on Monday. I have important work to do vis-a-vis making sure that I get caught up on the many Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling shows that happened. 2 happened this week, I haven't seen yet, and then 2 happened this weekend that I also obviously haven't seen yet because they're happening this weekend. So I do want to see all of that wrestling, which I will be able to check out this weekend. But yeah, I have not watched them in advance, so I don't even know what's up. Is this the right piece? This is the wrong one. This is the wrong piece. I don't need this yet. It's this piece that I need. Yeah. I already got the wrong piece out. Already off on the wrong foot. I don't know if there's anything else going on with me right off the big bat. Oh, I skeeted about this on Blue Sky. I have been meaning to call a number and deal with a thing for a while now. And I got a statement in like February about a particular money thing, and there was no like rush to get it taken care of, but it's something I need. Basically, it was like there's an account that I need to make sure it is working that wasn't working. It was automatically created, and then there was an issue where it was just like, hey, why isn't this updating? This thing needs to update, and it's not. And I don't know why. Hey, Lord Crashington. And I couldn't log in. And I was like, well, I need to get that done. And so I called this number that they said to call. And there was an issue calling that number. And so then I found a different number to call. And that was like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I should probably call that phone number at some point. So I did. I finally called that phone number. And now I got it taken care of. I did have to talk to somebody for like 15 minutes, which, as you know, that's not great. We don't love that. All right. So how do you fit in there? This going on the side? Okay. Yeah, you do. You go on the side. Huh. But I did manage to complete that call and complete the transaction that I needed to do, which was good. Yeah, I got that all taken care of, and I'm pleased to say that's all done, and now I don't have to deal with that anymore. I was able to log in and everything. Got it all done. Had to prove my identity. They asked me questions that I had to answer, and like it was one of those. It was a weird thing where I'm like, what are these questions? But I managed to do it. I proved who I was beyond a shadow of the doubt. So that's good. So I got that taken care of. And that's just like, oh, yeah, I got to dock yourself to them. Yes. In a way, yeah. So I will say this, friends. Just the annoying thing that you don't want to be doing, like, obviously, you're right. It's very annoying. You are absolutely right that it is a very annoying thing, the thing that you don't want to do because it's annoying. You're correct. Do the thing. Just do the thing that you don't want to be doing because I know it's really annoying, but you'll get it done, and then you're just going to be like, well, that wasn't bad. That wasn't a hard thing. The thing that I didn't want to do. I could have done this any day. Why did I take so long to do this thing? You'll feel better about it. So do the thing. Do the ding dang thing. Because it's not like, do I want to be on the phone? No, I don't ever want to be on the phone talking to people, but I did it and I survived, and you can too. You can get that shit done. Get that shit taken care of. And there we go. That piece is now connected. Great. I've done this. This part is done. And this goes here. And you're like, that doesn't look right. And it's like, well, it's not done yet. Then we got to do, we'll do a little panel lining on here. Make this look a little nice over here. A little bit of brown. So I got that stuff taken care of, and I'm happy about that. That makes me happy. I got call. This is not okay. So I've talked about this before. One of my main source of incomes is that I am a contracted employee with a company that does like docs or decks or presentations for people. Basically, instead of you and your company wasting your time doing the PowerPoint for your presentations, you can just have the company I work for do it. And so I am one of the people that does that work, and I'm good at it, and I've been doing it for quite some time. And there are, basically the way it works is, if the client is new, then there's a number of people, and they look at, try to balance and make sure everybody's working on something and all that, and who's available, and what kind of job it is, and they match the job with the right person for it, or a person for it, really depending. If it is a reoccurring, if the client has worked with the company before, then they offer it to the person that last worked on a project for it. Because sometimes the projects are just like updates, and you're like, oh yeah, you already done this, or well, you already did work the client liked, so we'll just go with you. I have a lot of those, of course, because I am a consistent worker, and I've been there for quite some time, so I get a lot of repeat business, which is great. Every once in a while, something comes along from a client that has worked there for a while, and they suddenly are using a new person. And that, not always, but generally means that the client sucks. So an important thing to know about this is you get assigned information, right? Like, hey, we need this, and this done. You do the thing. There are, it's a contract, is for a set price, and you do the thing for the price. Then I finish a project, send it to my supervisor. They communicate with the client. I don't talk to the client directly. They're not my client. They're the company that I am a contract employee for client. So they don't talk to me. They give their feedback. And then there are two things that happen. If it is an error by the person doing the work, and if I screw up, then I got to fix it. It doesn't cost the company any money to make the request for me to fix it. I go in and do it. It gets done. If the client changes their minds, if they look at the final product and go, actually, we'd really like it to be like this, and can we add these photos, and we've gotten updated information, and so we really love this to be updated, then there has to be a new contract. There has to be the supplemental work, and they have to agree to those terms. And then those changes get made. Most companies just pay the fucking money. They just pay the money to get it fixed. They go, actually, we changed our mind. We want to do it this way. Can we do it that way? Now that we're looking at it, why did we think, now that we look at it, why would we want this to be in black and white? It would be great if we could have some colored text or some colored backgrounds or whatever. Make the changes. Here's the whatever. And then the changes that I make, if it is on the client request, I get paid for that. So, and sometimes, it's not available. I've got other projects, whatever. It's got to be done lickety split. So then I don't even work on some of those changes here and there. But most of the time I do make the changes for the client, and we just go about the business. Every once in a while, there is a client that doesn't want to pay the extra money, but does want changes. And therefore, they will try to make it seem like I fucked up or the other contractor fucked up. Again, this to me does not happen that often, but it does happen now and again. It is currently happening where a client is saying that I screwed up something, that I didn't understand the instructions provided, which is very funny because I definitely did. And there's an email chain where I clarify with my supervisor, hey, They say they want it to look like this, and I won't get into specifics, of course. They say they want it to look like this. That seems weird. Are they sure? Like, I literally, before I agreed, asked a follow-up question. And I was told, yes, that's how they want it. So there's an email chain. Now, of course, they don't have that email chain. They're not supposed to know my email address because they don't want one of two things to happen. One, they don't want the client to bother the people doing the work. And two, they definitely, my company that I am a contract employee for, definitely does not want them to contact me directly to bypass the company. Of course. Always get an email chain. Yeah. So like, it makes sense, right? Like, look, this is no fault. This is the way to do business, right? I don't want to be bothered by clients. Clients are fucking annoying. But my bosses definitely don't want me to do extra work. Like, what happens if next year they have some easy updates they want to make and they just email me to make the changes and pay me less than they would pay me before, but it's under the table. It's not through it's not through the job and whatever. They don't want that. They want me to, they want to get their fucking cut, which is fair. They have their reputation and all that. I am not an independent contractor. I'm a contract employee. I am not running my own business. I'm not a small business owner doing this work. I don't advertise that I do this work. I just do the work. Now, unfortunately, they got my email. I don't know how that happened. They got my email, and I got CC'd on something complaining about my work. So my supervisor, talking about these things, my email got in there. I believe that it was in some document somewhere. What that means that I now also can scroll up for quoted conversations that I wasn't privy to, right? I'm removed from these conversations normally. Now I'm part of the conversation. So I, of course, wanted to see what dumb shit they've been saying about me. Again, I will never talk to these people. I did not reply to their emails. My supervisor replied before I could, saying like, hey, this is not part of protocol. This is not part of the contract. Please do not email our contractors. Do not contact our contractors. We've been over this. But I was able to also see that at some point, one of the craziest things, I've never had this come up in conversation before. So, in conversation that they have had about me, again, I do not believe that they are unhappy with my work. I believe they don't want to pay for changes. And the way to do that is to say that I'm doing a bad job. And I know that because this is what they do. This is a client that has moved from person to person because the last person that worked with them said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not worth my time to constantly have to to constantly hear from you that you're hearing from them. The money is probably worth it for you. It's not worth it for me. So I know that came my way because I said, yeah, all right, whatever. I got thick skin. Sure. Apparently, one of the reasons why I'm doing a bad job with this client is that emails don't get returned in a timely fashion. That my supervisor in email form has said, well, we just heard back from our contractor and we just got this information, because what was happening was they would ask for changes at like 8 a.m. Eastern time. Those requests would get forwarded to me. I would see those and make the changes and respond by like 10:15, 10:20 a.m. because I wake up at 10 in the morning. Because I don't have a job that requires me to be up early. Because I'm not a morning person. I go to bed at like 2 a.m. I wake up at 10 a.m. That's just who I am. That is a holdover from my life in New York. Could I change it? Yes. Do I have to change it? No. So they noticed a pattern that they would make requests and it wouldn't get fulfilled until after 10 a.m. Which I'm to make this my point abundantly clear with this, these requests did not have like a time limit. My changes made, if you want changes made within a certain amount of time, you have to pay for that. Otherwise, it's 24 hours. So I was responding. I was making small, subtle changes 15 minutes after waking up. Make the change, review the change, send it out. My supervisor looks at it, sends it off for approval so they can move on with their day and deal with their other stuff. My supervisor understands that if they email me, I won't get back to them until 10 in the morning. And it's not part of my job to be awake at 8 in the morning. So this client decided that because I respond, they get an email from the supervisor at about 10:30 in the morning anytime they ask for changes, that I'm taking too long to make the changes and I'm unprofessional. And I am pretty much at the point where I'm pretty much done with that. I can't say no to work, right? I can't say no to work. I am not in a position to turn down money. But now they have my email address. And they, so far, added me to an email conversation so that they could rope me in on it. We're told, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. You know that is a violation of our contract. Don't do that. We'll see. If they continue to email me, then I'm probably going to have to bounce off of this job. I often also don't say that. I don't pull away from jobs because I want to get... If you start saying, in the world of freelance, if you start saying, I'm not available, I'm not available, I'm not available, a byproduct of that often is they stop asking you first. Because if they're going to ask you first and you're going to say no over and over again, they might as well start with the person who's going to say yes more often than not. So unless it's a thing where I was like, hey, I can't do any work right now. I'm in Connecticut for the next couple of days. You know, I had the funeral last year. I had that, like, when I would go away to PAX or a convention of some kind. I'd be like, hey, I am unavailable. You can always email me. I just can't take any new work from this date to this date. Like, I just don't have the ability to take work from that because of X, Y, and Z. And I would always do my best to make that crystal clear when I was available and when my schedule was not available. And like I said, I get emailed a lot to do work because I'm fast and efficient and good at my job. I can make a deck with like medical terms I've never heard before and not make spelling errors because I double check my work consistently. I always turn my stuff in way before a deadline for when the first copy is due so that changes can be made as soon as possible. When asked to make changes, I usually can get it done that day because my schedule is very fucking flexible. I have made updates to decks while biking on my exercise bike. Like, it is not a big deal. I can make it happen if I need to make it happen. But if they're going to become fucking annoying, then I will break my rule and I will stop and I will say that I do not want to work with this client anymore. Because part of this gig is I don't talk to customers. I am not a forward-facing employee. It is awesome that I don't have to talk to people. That is one of the things, right? Like, I'm doing this work in part because I don't fucking want to talk to people or negotiate prices or haggle or like I don't want to chase people down for payments. That's the number one thing. Like, I already run into 4 to 5 times a year. I do work outside of this kind of stuff, and then don't get fucking paid. Like, I do very little freelance, in part because freelance consistently fucks you over and is a fucking nightmare. Getting paid by somebody is so fucking difficult if you are one person. Occasionally, like, former like supervisors, like, this is my like 5th supervisor at this job because I've been doing it now for like 10 years. So occasionally people reach out to me. They're like, hey, I used to be, I'm doing this thing with this thing. We're really, really understaffed. So we would love for you to come on for a project, like, and if, like I said, I can't really turn down money, so I'll say yes. And then it turns out they're like, oh yeah, well, we're having trouble with the client, like getting the payment stuff. So we're going to be a little late on this. One thing I will say about the job that I currently work, they've never been late with payments. Never. They've always made payroll. They have funds to cover for some clients. And that is great. So like I will say this, I do not know hey, we just got a new sub with Prime. Cool V1. Thank you so much for using your your Prime gaming token for this. Let's throw a Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 balloon boat. Thank Cool V in chat there. Thank you very much. Enjoy your emotes made by Xandra, the goat Xandra, making cool emotes and playing Mega Man games during the day or the morning, I guess, because it's Good Morning Mega Man. That's what she calls it. But yeah, I'll tell you, I have no idea if any of the clients that I have worked for have ever been late on payments. I don't know, because the company covers it. They deal with it if something comes up, which is awesome for me. It is one of the reasons why I've stuck with them this long, is because they fucking pay on time, and I don't ever deal with that. And sometimes when I'm doing freelance extra stuff, it is like pulling teeth to get people to pay because they don't want to. Generally, clients don't want to fucking give you that money, which is, of course, frustrating. It's so frustrating sometimes, y'all. Because you just want, just like, don't hire people if you don't want to pay for the work. Like, no one made you do this. It's like, well, but whatever. Anyway, being told that I'm unprofessional because I don't respond to emails before 10 a.m. at a job that doesn't require me to reply to emails before at any time, just that I reply to them within a day. Like, within a day. That's it. If I get back to them within a day, then that is fine, and they do not care otherwise. If it takes longer than a day, then they would be annoyed. But like I said, yeah, so I don't know. That was a new one. It's been a while since I've been called unprofessional. That it definitely threw me for a loop, because I was like, oh, I guess. Very unprofessional to only do your job when necessary. Yes, Lord Crash, you did. I do like but I'll say this. It brings me a bit of comfort to know that I am so good at the work I do that they had to invent a reason to be mad at me. And the reason they got mad at me, the reason I'm doing a bad job, is because I don't reply to emails until after 10 a.m. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the only thing they've got on me is, well, we send these emails out and we get these changes and they come back at around the same time every day, and it's not even at the beginning of the day, and it's like, okay, all right, cool. That's not my job. My job doesn't have that. I have fucking 24 hours to make changes to the things you want me to make. And I'm not doing that. I'm getting you changes within a couple hours. You should be thanking me. Anyway, Sorry. I don't like griping about that stuff. I mean, that's not true. I do like griping about that stuff. Because I need to. They have edited the slogan I gave them. It has not been voted on yet by all of the owners, but I said that we should pitch, like, in conversation. This is a light conversation, like, well, you know, hopefully all the clients know that this was made, that a human worked on this, and they were like, yeah, we kind of want to add something like that to things, like, really, like, put it like front forward that we don't use machine learning to make your things, that like real people worked on this. They're playing around with it because that is the thing that they hear from their clients that they like. They need you to do that in the middle of the night or else. Yeah. It's like if my job said, hey, we would like you to reply to emails earlier, then maybe I would, but that would mean getting up early every day just in case an email came in, and I don't feel like doing that. It's like, nah, that's not part of my job. That ain't my job. I know what my job is. It's a few things. It's not that, though. But yeah, humans work on that stuff, and we're doing pretty good with it. We're pretty good at it. I don't know. It's consistent. It's not life-changing, but work. And it's not full-time work. It's contract work. I wish the company I worked for would hire me part-time or full-time instead of it being contract work. But I understand why that's never going to happen, because it makes a lot more sense for them to just make me a contracted employee. So I don't argue about that, because that would do nothing. It would change nothing. They're just never going to. It would be neat if they did. It'd be pretty great if they did that, because then I would make more money. But whatever. Then they would want more from me, which also isn't the biggest deal in the world. Okay, it's sticker time. We got to put a bunch of stickers on these things. You're gonna go like this. And go like this. Oh, wait, this feels way better than this. Okay, yeah, that is not actually connected. Shit. I gotta pop this open because I didn't do it right. I was like, this feels flimsy. Hell yeah, sticker time. Yeah, we gotta apply some stickers. We'll do that. But first, I gotta fix this part because I didn't do this right. It's okay. It's all right. So yeah, a few things to be kind of miffed about work-wise, but not the biggest deal in the world. I just hope they don't start emailing me all the time, because I'm just not going to reply. I'm definitely not going to reply to their emails. Okay, so that goes in like that. Now let's see. Next Tuesday, we will do the live recording of Pat Baer's Anime Club. We're starting to get some announcements about some shows. There is a third season of Reborn is a Vending Machine, and the VTubers from Hololive, Fuamoko, that's Fuawa and Mokoko, they are twins. They are twin VTubers. They are doing the ending theme for season 3 of Reborn is a Vending Machine, and that's neat. And the not remake, but the continuation, Patlabar, is going to have a new opening theme for the new season that's coming, or the new series for Pat Labor. And Maury Calliope, also from Hololive English, is going to be the singer. She has done a couple of anime stuff, mostly closing themes for things. And I think this might be her first opening theme, but I don't know for sure. But that's cool. It is cool that a show that I will be watching, because we don't get as much mech anime like these days as I would like, and I always enjoyed Pat Labor, so I I am excited for that. And as I said, I know who Mori Calliope is, so I am happy that I get to hear her sing on a show that I'll be checking out. I did not watch the first episode of the new JoJo, which started today. I didn't watch that. I will watch it. I just didn't yet. I'm waiting to. I don't have Netflix at the moment, so I'm waiting for a few other things, and then I will get Netflix and watch it. But it did come out, so it's not being held. It's not being held in jail. They're not waiting until all of it is done to release it, which is great news. Okay, so how do these go on? Okay, that goes on like that. She did the second opening for Gacha. Yes, she did. That's right. That was the opening for Gacha Kuda. I forgot about that. I thought for some reason in my head she did the ending. I know she did the ending for Justice League Isekai, not Suicide Squad Isekai. She did the closing theme for that. So in my head that was another closing theme, but it wasn't. All right, so that's 12. And then 13 is this one here. 14 is that one. 11 is that one. Okay. I had to double check if it was the OP2. Yeah, I couldn't remember. But yeah. And good for her. That's cool. Callie, besides doing a lot of like role playing and D&D like stuff, pre being a VTuber, moved to Japan to focus on music as in the underground rapping scene in Japan. So for her to be making anime music is fucking wild. She is someone that I was like familiar with like I knew her before she became a VTuber, and then kind of wasn't paying attention to what she was doing in VTubing because I wasn't paying attention to a lot of VTubers when that started, and also, you know, pandemic stuff. I just wasn't paying attention to a lot of things. I was pretty checked out, so I wasn't super up on what she was up to there, but I did know her pre. I know her, you know, whatever, which is a very strange thing. Like I've talked about that before, about like Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. Like I know some of her stuff from before she was that, under her other VTubing personas and her other music, because we have friends in common. And so that is a fun bit of business. Every once in a while, a friend of mine is just like, hey, so like, this is weird, right? And then, because it would be like a cover, and you can instantly tell who it is, and you're like, wait, hey, wait, that's my friend, right? And like, my friend will say that. I'll be like, yes, your friend is covering an Adarashi Gakko song and doing a good job with it. It's weird. I've never had the experience where because the connections I have now to people that I knew before they were VTubers, this is their first VTubing. I have never had the thing of I liked an independent VTuber and then they became a HoloLive or one of the other VTubing things, and had it become a new thing. Like I've never had that, so I don't know how that feels. That's gotta fucking feel weird. It's like, oh man, I like this little gremlin. Not gremlin. Was a chipmunk. I think she was a chipmunk or something. Gopher. I don't remember. And now somebody else in like another costume is saying the same kind of words and doing the same kind of thing. I've never had that experience yet, because I don't watch a lot of independent VTubers to know that stuff. Just hasn't come up. All right, we got the tiny stickers on. Now it's time to do the big old wraparound stickers. Okay, so I think it's saying that one goes on one side and one goes on the other. So we'll start with the ones that I think go on this side here, and then we'll do the other side after that. These are big wraparound stickers. Now, do I wish that these parts of plastic were just red, and so I didn't have to put on these giant-ass stickers? Of course I wish for that. Like, of course I would like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're here for that? Yeah, I mean, like, I'm okay with it. I would prefer to have the plastic, but also that's just part of it, right? Like, it's just part of the dance, you know? It's just part of the thing. The color correcting stickers are just part of the experience. Okay. All right, so this is the best way to do this is to line it up as best you can with what you know is correct, and then fold over the stuff that needs to get folded over. So, like, I know that this is going to go like that. There's a little black line that you can't see, but I can see that goes like that, and so then I know that everything else just folds over and folds down, and then folds over and folds down. And the corners aren't perfect, but they don't have to be perfect because I'm not perfect. Right? A little bit of jank is okay, because I'm full of jank. The lighting in here could be better. If I had a better NVIDIA graphics card, my background would be moved better, right? And wouldn't be weird. Like, I wouldn't feel like they're like disappears, like the that kind of stuff. Like, there's things that could be better, but like, that's pretty fucking good. That turned out pretty all right. I don't know. I'm feeling okay about that one. Let's do the other one that I know is going to be easier, which is on this side here, which is again going to be 4. It's going to be 4 this time. But yeah, I think it turned out okay. But that is generally my philosophy with these things. This is like, I'll figure it out. Let's see. Some updates of various things and things. Let's see. We talked about this before, but now it is official word that IO Partners, which is the so IO Interactive, decided they were going to get into the publishing game. They wanted to start making some publishing deals and to use their knowledge of being an independent to help out other smaller companies, right? Their first thing for IO Partners was, unfortunately, helping to publish the game Mind's Eye from Build a Rocket Boy. It was very clear, and that also, it was going to include some Hitman DLC in Mind's Eye. There was going to be some kind of crossover as like a show of good faith, right? Which was like an interesting idea. Now, of course, the game came out, and that changed things. And so now IO Partners has put out a statement that involvement with Mind's Eye comes to an end except for any essential transitional functions required to transfer publisher of record status to Build a Rocket Boy. Basically, Build a Rocket Boy is now self-publishing the game going forward, of course they are. And IO is basically washing their hands of it. It's like one of those things where, like, it's a bummer that is on the permanent record of IO. But in my opinion, this is just my opinion, reading the tea leaves, right? History will not remember. If the Hitman DLC had come out, history might remember. But in my opinion, the legacy of Mind's Eye and Build a Rocket Boy it will be forgotten in history that IO had anything to do with anything, because it'll mostly be about like, hey, remember that company that thought that like the CEO claimed there was sabotage and like their bad game was like the fault of like industrial espionage and all of that dumb shit, where they were like trying to subpoena Discord names. Like, to me, that's their legacy. And IO, it'll just be like people might remember, oh yeah, there was going to be Hitman stuff in that game. It didn't happen. Who knows? But that is me reading the tea leaves that people will forget. And then, so this is Build a Rocket Boy says it still intends on collaborating with other partners in the future. So yeah, I like IO Interactive, and I think IO Interactive doing a James Bond game is interesting. I'm reserving like I'm not as stoked about the footage as some people are, but I am interested in seeing what they do with it. Like, I am cautiously optimistic about them, but mostly I'm just excited for that company to be able to work on something that excites them so much, right? Like they struck out on their own. They turned 3 video games into like a platform of game. The World Assassination stuff, like they really fucking did it. And so I'm excited to see what they do with a different game, with a different property, with someone else's baby. With the tech that they've developed and all that. So yeah. Good luck to them, is what I say. All right, this is not going to be like perfectly connected. You're going to be able to see some black here, but also it's part of the backpack, and so like I'm okay with that. I'm not super bothered that this isn't perfect, because I don't think I could make it perfect. If I was someone that did painting, which I am not, I don't have the gear for it, I don't have the space for it. But if I was someone who was painting, I would obviously paint this. I would paint this and try to match with this, which this sticker does match, but I would try to paint it. Looks nice with the red and black, says Lord Crashton, and I agree. I think the red and black is a great combo. But yeah, like I would paint this if I could. I would paint those pieces if I could. But I do not have the equipment nor the skill for that kind of an endeavor. So, not going to happen. Let's see. The final update for FBC Firebreak is coming out. That is a game that I literally played this past weekend, because my multiplayer crew has somebody that really loves that game and wanted to play more of it, so we played more of it. It's not that good. I mean, I'm not really into this style of game, but 2, it also didn't really do anything. There has been a price drop, so you can get the game for $20 if you would like to. Open House is the final update, and it's got some stuff that is like a little bit more like Control, but still not enough probably for... If you don't want to play a multiplayer game, this is not going to do it for you. If you like multiplayer games, online-only multiplayer games, and also you liked Control, this might be enough for you. But even then, I would say it's still not, like, good. It's better than it was. But yeah, I don't know. I still don't think it does it. Yeah. I mean, I loved Control. I think it was a phenomenal game. And I think that there are not enough people in that company that knew how to make a successful game that Firebreak wanted to be. I just think it was a misstep. I think they took a big swing and it did not pay off. And that's a shame. But yeah. So basically they're like, yeah, we're not gonna keep working on it. Now they may still do some balance patches or stuff like that, but they're not going to be adding more stuff to it, which I think is good. This is a small little thing. This is just nice to be able to report. An indie game, which is a visual novel called And Roger, has sold 100,000 copies. Small little point and click visual novel that is very arresting and very cool. Got the audience award at the Game Developers Choice Awards. Developed by Frieren Studio. Yeah, 100,000 copies for a little cool little indie game. Cool little visual novel. In 8 months, they announced that they had done that. And I think that's cool. Like not much to say about that other than like, hell yeah. Like to see cool little indie things doing well. Making some moves. Good on them. Let's see. Okay. That goes in like that. All right, that piece is in there. And then you pop in like this. Oh. There we go. A successful game to bum you out. Yes. And Roger is, that is a game that sticks with you. That is this is not a term that people use, but a friend of mine calls games that sit with you oatmeal games because they stick to your ribs. He also, that is his term for there's oatmeal anime, there's oatmeal books, there's oatmeal manga, there's oatmeal music. There's a lot of oatmeal music. There are some songs on on Anime Trauma Divorce by Open Mike Eagle that are oatmeal songs. And I know that is not a popular term, but my friend has used it all the I've known him now for 30 years. And so it comes to me often, I'll say. And And Roger is an oatmeal game. All right. Maybe use the popular technology at the moment and call it bummer slop. Yeah, you could say that. The thing is that, like, I do like that slop started off with a negative connotation in friend slop. But people who do not see that as a negative are still using it and therefore stripping slop as a term for that. Friend slop is just now the term for fairly inexpensive mobile game or online game you play with your friends. That is just the term. That's all it means now. And then you just say, oh, is that good friend slop or bad friend slop, right? Like, it was supposed to be derogatory, right? Oh, it's just chasing that, like, whatever. But, like, people call peak friend slop. And, like, peak fucking rules. It's not friend slop. It is friend slop. It's not slop. Because now, so if you're calling peak that, then it's like, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, then any multiplayer game that is not super expensive is a friend slop. Okay, you play with your friends. Great. It's like RV There Yet is kind of a buggy mess, but I still wouldn't call it slop. Like, it's got its fucking particulars, but I wouldn't go so far as to use the to say it's sloppy. But it's certainly got some jank to it. But, like, is Gang Beast's friend slop? I think it is. I think Gang Beast is friend slop. I think Untitled Chicken Horse. Oh, well, yeah. Ultimate Chicken Horse. What is it? Yeah. Is Friendslop. Very good, well-designed games. So it's like, yeah, sure. Let's see. Tomb Raider Studio faces 4th round of layoffs in just 12 months. Unfortunately, do have to say that. That is, let's see. How many? 20 people across some development personnel and some central operation roles. That is in addition to 30 people laid off last November. A bunch, we don't know how many in August, and 17 a year ago. So in 12 months, just laying off people here and there. Again, we don't know how many went in August, but it was a culling in August. So it's quite a few. It's just, yeah. Just rough out there for folks. I don't like reporting on layoffs, but we do talk about them here as they come up. And unfortunately, they come up. It's sad to say. All right, so we get this on like this. This on like that. And then they kind of lock together. Okay, yeah, they lock like that. That's neat. And then this clips on there. And then we do have, oh, there is a sticker that needs to go on there. And then there's a sticker that goes on the scope. So after the pause for the cause, I will talk about, I will endeavor to, oh yeah, that goes like that. Neat. And that goes like that. Ooh, that's cool. Then they fold out. That's clever. We do have 2 stickers here. One that goes on there, and then one that goes on the scope, which we will get to, of course. Oh, the gun can sit on the back of the kit. That's fun. I didn't notice that. The reason why this folds like this is so that this can go and fit on. Yeah, okay. Oh. So I can take this piece and put it, or there's another piece that I can get that goes on the arm, and that can go on the back too. Oh, that's neat. All right, well, we'll probably deal with that, but eventually we'll have to put the gun on here and hold it and all that for photos. Because these pieces come off and then flip around, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Let's see. Yeah. We'll probably I'll talk about the Steam sale on Saturday, I think. There's a Steam sale going on. A bunch of stuff's on sale. Some games are very inexpensive. Some games are still pricey, but cheaper than they were. So, yeah. If you've been waiting on something that you've been looking forward to, now might be the time to get in on it. Get in on that action. Get the thing you're looking for. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you, the viewer, about ways that you can support me, the streamer. All of the things I'm about to talk about here are optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things. But if you would like to, I'll offer you ways or suggestions on how you can support what I do here. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote into chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money, or you could be like Cool V and use your Prime Gaming token. That is another way to support what I do here, is to, if you have Amazon linked with your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime, you can use that Twitch Prime on me. Or somebody else, but me preferably. Currently at 24 subscribers. If you want to gift a sub, get that number to go up. You want to become a subscriber for the first time, get that number to go up. That's a thing you could do. You don't have to, but you could. You don't see ads during the stream. No pre-roll ads, bumming you out. And you get cool emotes, and you're financially benefiting me. That's fun. There are other ways to support what I do here. For instance, crazily enough, you could, of course, join my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $10 patrons voted on what I'm building next, another model kit that I'm excited to work on, that they voted for. They were like, do this one next. And so I am. But see if there's a tier that's right for you. I played Power Wash Simulator. I'm sorry, that was a previous week. Anyway, what I did last week was because playing Fire Pro Wrestling World last week was because my patrons were like, play that. You should run some CPU versus CPU matches in that game. And they were right. They were right to vote for that. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on the YouTube, of course, subscribing is free, and please do. You can also become a member, and for just $2 a month, you could support me and what I do here and get my Wednesday video series that I do. You get that on Tuesday, so you don't even have to wait. So the video that went out to everybody yesterday about a cool girls doing things show, you would have already seen. You'd already know how good it is. So yeah, you would have seen that. Now, I mentioned that I do have some kits coming to me in the mail. My backlog is going to be refurbished. It's kind of faltered there. It's kind of withered away. I'm rebuilding the word I was looking for there. The queue. I'm going to rebuild the backlog, have some stuff ready to build. Now, if you want to decide on something that would skip the queue, a way to do that is to go to my Amazon wish list and buy something for me to build. I've got model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, all kinds of different things that I'd be happy to put together. Let's see. What do we got on here? That would be the Blockies Transformers Starscream. If you want me to build a Starscream model kit, that's on sale right now. You can get that. You save $1 on it from previously what it was recorded at. There's also gear. If you just like, yeah, Pat, I will get you a couple of wall chargers for USB-C, because I am in need of those. You can get that. That's a way to support the channel. It will allow me to do things a little easier around here. I wouldn't have to run an extension because I just plug in another charger somewhere. That is another way to support what I do here. You could do that. Building the list. Indeed, Lord Crashington. Buy something off the list, and I build something off the list. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne. I got to update that again. It's been a hot minute since I did an update, so I'll check that out. And then, of course, the most convoluted and complicated way to support me financially is to go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. You buy a gift card, they send you an email with the gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. And you can be like, hey, I saw this there. That's on sale. You should get this thing. And that would be cool. So you could do that. If you want to support me but not spend any money, join my Discord. We would love to have you hang out in the Discord. You're more than welcome to hang out there. It's a cool place for cool people. A couple of video links for you to check out. This week, I put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. And I am talking about some of my favorite original anime from the 2020s. Look, I love an adaptation. I love a light novel or video game adaptation or a manga that I've been reading, and then there's an anime based on that manga. Love that stuff. Popular manhwa over the last couple of years. That's been fun to see, like Solo Leveling and the like get their adaptations. That's cool too. But in this episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, I talk about some originals, like a show like Decadence, which was able to say, hey, here's what the show is about. Actually, it's about this. And we didn't know. Week to week, we found out that there was more going on. And there were big twists and big reveals. And it was just a fucking kick-ass show that I didn't know what the next week was going to be like. Same thing with Zenshu, one of my favorite shows of last year. Came in thinking I knew what it was about. It was an Isekai. You found out in the first fucking episode that show's a goddamn Isekai. Crazy. I love a good original anime, so I talked about a bunch of cool originals in a video. So please watch that video. And then this week on Kuma Baer, I have a new month every theme for my Kuma Baer, my anime recommendation series. And this week, I talked about Let's Make a Mug 2. Let's Make a Mug, TOO, is a lovely girls doing things show about pottery. Girl moves back to the town that her parents lived in. She finds out her mom used to belong to the pottery club in a town known for its pottery. She joins it, learns about pottery and friendship and good times. And then also, every episode features the voice actors of the show going around the town and learning about pottery, visiting the high school that the high school in the show is based on, doing a tea ceremony, all kinds of different things. It was filmed mostly in 2020, so you get to see a weird snapshot of a small town in Japan where everyone is wearing masks and the streets are fucking empty. It's weird. Also, the reason why you have this segment with the voice actors is because it's part of the agreement the town had because the show is paid for by a tourism board. And it's just weird to know that. It's not a show that like existed and then the town was like, or the prefecture was like, oh shit, they made a show about our town. No, the town was like, we would love for more people to know about our cool shit and our legacy of pottery. What if there was an anime and it was a cozy slice of life? And then they made it. And it's fun. It's very fun. Let's Make a Mug 2 is just like a cool little show. And like I said, you don't normally... A lot of anime does the like, we sent our voice actor to go do this. But we don't normally get to see that. Like, people from Laid Back Camp, voice actors from Laid Back Camp have done like TV show stuff where they went camping. But that very little of that makes it out of Japan. In this case, it did. You can watch the subtitle of these voice actors like hanging out and getting to know one another because they don't really know each other because they just, record separately. It's pretty fucking neat. I don't know. It's a cool little show. Anyway, that's enough talking about anime. It's time to talk about anime. I have two anime shows where I want to talk about I believe they're both the 11th episode. Yes, they're both the 11th episode of these shows, and we will do that. But before that, I need to drink some water. I gotta drink some water, and I need to transition back to the overhead camera. So we'll do both of those things now. All right. So let's get this sticker we need to get on here. Let's get the other components that we need to get on here. Get this kit together, and then finish the arm-like weapon that needs to go on there as well. Get all this together, take some photos, and then we can start looking at the next build. And kind of getting that started. And also, let's talk about episode 11 of two anime that are both BL Isekai, if you can fucking believe it. Isekai Office Worker, The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, and A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation are the two of the day. Two different, very different styles of Isekai. Also, two different styles of BL, if I'm being honest. We were at the orphanage where some young people were doing magic training, and one of the kids' magic goes out of control. And Shinichiro, our main character who was accidentally isekai'd, he has no ability to absorb mana, and it's been a problem. It is the thing that has led him to be in a physical relationship with another character, but Shinichiro just can't fucking handle that. And Even though he doesn't get caught in the explosion, the amount of magic in the air immediately makes him sick. He immediately gets magic sickness. And luckily, because they had been separated, Aresh shows up. Aresh is, of course, the guy who is intimate with him in order to cure his sickness, but is also clearly developed strong romantic feelings. And the episode, in a previous episode, it was explained to Shinichiro that Aresh had basically used an oath a knight does. It was that kind of thing of like, you know, if you have a girl who's your sweetheart and you go off to war and then you send her a letter declaring, that like, when I come back, we're gonna talk or whatever. He basically did that. It's like, hey, yeah, all right. So when we get back, we're gonna have to figure this shit out. So he arrives, finds out what happened. Aresh takes a bunch of tonics, which could be dangerous for him, and immediately sleeps with Shinichiro because, of course, this is the BL stuff that just feels like slash fiction, where it's just like, oh, so you could transfer this magic energy when the two of you are intimate with one another, huh? Okay, sure. But that is an element of this. So that restores the barrier that he built around Shinichiro. Shinichiro has to rest for 3 days. As we know, to his detriment, he is a workaholic. It is a good... This is a thing that we don't get a lot. So a lot of isekai are the main character overworked themselves to death, and then they suddenly live a slow life and figure out how to live better than they could. That is not the case with Shinichiro. He is just constantly... He is a workaholic, and he's got a job, and he wants to work. But now he has to be in bed rest for 3 days. And Aresh doesn't show up. Aresh is not there while Shinichiro recovers, which is weird. You'd think he would be. But that's because he got tonic overdose, because he took all those tonics to, so he's been away because he has been ill. And then Shinichiro genuinely feels bad about that. Like, this is a thing that, like, yeah, he does feel bad about what he has done. Shinichiro learns that Sigma and Ist have been working on the magic measuring tool. This was just like a thing that, like, kind of randomly Shinichiro kind of gave them the idea for in the previous episode. But it's a thing that Shinichiro didn't think was that important, but will really fucking change this world for the better. But Shinichiro's just like, oh man, I thought Sigma was going to get into accounting and help me out. So he's bummed because he thought he was going to be able to recruit him. But that is definitely not going to be the case. So apparently, this accident that happened was not an accident. The prayer that was being used happened on purpose to cause an explosion. Somebody was trying to kill Shinichiro. That's fucked. He's been attacked before, but generally it was like a warning or people that were just mad at him, not trying to actively kill him. So that's fucked. And they think that it was... they think that it was Cipriano. That they imagine that was him. And he is the church accountant that they definitely didn't necessarily think would actively try to kill him. Like, they're very confused, and he's confused. He's like, I thought this was kind of over with. And also, like, there were other people with clear incentives for hurting him that wouldn't be him. So it feels strange that it was this guy. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, wait, who was that? Oh, wait, that guy? That's strange. So I was like, oh, that seems weird. So we'll see if there's more going on here than that. led to believe. So Shinichiro needs to get Aresh some kind of thank you gift because he has once again saved his life, and that's important to show appreciation. And Aresh is like, here's a gift. Talk to me casually. Speak with me informally. Like I see you do with some other people. Like, I want that. I want us to be casual with one another. And then Seichiro's just like, okay. He's like, yeah, do it like you and Sigma. And he's like, wait, are you jealous of Sigma? Huh? And it's like kind of figuring out that like, oh, he's like, yeah, it's jealousy. I think Shinichiro seems to understand that Aresh has feelings for him. He seems to understand that. And he also seems to understand that they're going to have to like eventually deal with that. But he does have that thing where he does not necessarily imagine himself to be worthy of those kinds of feelings. Like he does not necessarily think that he is somebody that deserves that kind of attention. Which is interesting. It is interesting that is an element to it. I don't know what we're going to like. First of all, I don't think that episode 12 is going to be like they fall in love, but I do think it'll be some kind of connection between the two of them, furthering that bond. I think that is certainly likely. And maybe we'll find out who tried to kill him and unlock a conspiracy of some kind, because that would be good to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna get every answer. But we'll get some answers. I have to imagine. All right, and then a very different vibe. Episode 11 of a Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation. This is our main guy, Lizel, or Liz, as some people refer to him. He was isekai'd. He's been very casual about the whole fucking thing. This is BL. This is a boys' love show. But it is not as overt as Bookkeeper. This one is it is just a show with a lot of guys, a lot of incredibly handsome men drawn to be handsome, some of whom are clearly in love with one another, and that is just the vibe of the show. That is just what's happening in this particular program. That's just what it is. So, the last episode, we found out that there was a conspiracy against Judge, the merchant, the incredibly handsome merchant. I think Judge is maybe the hottest guy in the show. That's my opinion on it. I mean, Ray is also fucking dreamy, so maybe it's Ray. I don't know. But anyway, they found out the corrupt guild member was working with some people. They've been scamming a lot of people, including our guy Judge. They figured it out. Lizel decided to invite 11, the rabbit man, to officially join the party, which was a bit of a surprise because 11 had a whole crew that had been harassing them. But then he actually just wants to be with them. And so he's now part of the party. And then Lizel shows up to Ray and is just like, hey, I bet that that corrupt guild employee was actually secretly the leader of the Forky gang this whole time, which we know that was 11. 11 was the leader of the gang. This is just Lizel trying to clear 11's name so that they can, party together without it being a fucking problem. It's some shenanigans. We're in some fucking shenanigans here. 11's just like, man, if you want me to give up the gang, I will give them up. Our guy 11 is fully prepared to narc out the people. And you do. I should say that he did. They wanted him to, like, they formed a gang around him. He was never necessarily interested in running a gang anyway. So, you know, it makes sense that he's like completely willing to sell them out because they don't really mean anything to him. Ray knows that this is a lie, that 11 was definitely the person that ran the Foxy gang, or the Forky gang, I should say. But he's just like, well, all right, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. We get to capture this gang. That's all that matters to me. 11 joins Lysel's party. Stud is kind of unhappy with this, but just accepts that's what's going to happen. Kind of a little bit gets outvoted on it, but is not particularly pleased. Judge also doesn't quite know to hang out with 11 because of the whole sending people to kill them thing. But Lysel is like, I think you and 11 are going to get along just fine. Now, does that mean wink, wink, get along just fine? Or is it just like, no, actually, I think you two will just become friends? I'm not sure how they're playing that, but it is a little bit of like, okay. All right. So is this how the pairings go? This is a Judge's boyfriend now? Is that what we're going to do here? I think that's what we're doing here. Lysel asks for better weapons and for 11, and so 11 gets paired with a set of anti-magic knives, and it looks cool. And they accept a job. We have not seen them do work, all that, getting to action all that often, so now we get to see some action where they go and fight. They got to capture some water elementals, and then 11 defeats a fire elemental. And there's a lovely little moment where the fire elemental explodes, and Gil and 11 both want to protect Lysel, and Lysel wants to protect 11's red hair from being burned. And it's a nice little friendly moment. It's a nice little bit of business in the episode. And that's episode 11. And there is a 12th episode, but I don't know if we fucking need it. I think the next episode might be about like what's happening in the world that Lysel came from before he got summoned. I think that's what we're getting with that episode, but I'm not sure. But I'm like, I don't fucking know if we really need that shit. It was a good episode, I'll say. I thought it was pretty good. All right, so I'm going to take a photo of this kit like this, and then we will do the weapon transformation. This kit doesn't have like a flight mode, but it does have a thing where the backpack comes out and becomes a big dumb weapon. And then these cool, clear pink pieces come into play, which we haven't used yet. So we'll get those out. I'm going to take two photos. I'm going to take a photo like this, and then I will do a transformation and take a photo with the weapon. The backpack basically becomes a big weapon, which is, of course, cool as shit. We love that around here. We love a cool big weapon and a transforming backpack. All that stuff is great. Toss those over there. Take care of that later. All right, so let me get a photo here, and then we'll do the transformation. Also, now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I always love hearing from you about the things you're got going on. If you're playing any video games or watching any movies or TV or anything like that, let me know. I'm always interested in hearing from you about these things and things. So feel free to let me know. Okay, so this is going to come off. And this is going to come off. I will say, I talked about playing a little Firebreak last weekend. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone this week. I have been really focused on Hearthstone because there was a new expansion this week, and I am trying out new decks. I have a new standard deck that I would describe as fine. It is fine. It is and a new wild deck that I think is pretty great. An OTK warrior deck that is that doesn't require a lot of legendaries. It has a lot of legendaries in it. It doesn't need a lot of legendaries, but it has them. You could do a version because basically, as long as you do a little bit of discounting, you can do it with 11 mana. It is a variation of a patron warrior deck, but instead of just building an unkillable board, you build an unkillable board, but as you're destroying that board, you are doing damage to your opponent's face, and it does a lot of fucking damage. You don't need 11 mana. You can do it with 10 mana, but it does work better with the 11 mana. So you maybe actually want that. All right, so we got to pull these off. All right, make sure. So these come off. This has to come off as well, right? Is that correct? No. Oh, no. Okay, this piece stays on. And then... Okay. This piece stays on. This piece is going to go on. These go off. This can go on the backpack, though. Oops. So... this goes like this. Oop. And then that goes on the backpack. Because we don't need this big gun right now. Use it later. We don't need it right now. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone and watching the pro wrestling. As I said at the beginning of the stream, I did have to deal with a phone call for some financial stuff, which I got straightened out, and I was very happy about that. And it was a thing that I could have solved. I could have solved so long ago, and just chose not to solve that problem, which is very foolish of me. I should have just handled it like 2 weeks ago, but I didn't because I didn't want to deal with it. Okay, so this goes like this, this goes like this, and then this goes in here. Lashbrook beat Marathon 2. Again, that is the second Marathon game. Not to be confused with Marathon 2026. Beat Marathon 2 for me was a night and day difference with Marathon 1. The only thing the first one does better is having a soundtrack. So that is a prime example of a era of iteration, right? Like, I think the last good example of that is Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2. I would never tell anyone to play Assassin's Creed, but if you wanted to see where modern day Assassin's Creed started, you would say, oh, Assassin's Creed 2 is a good place to start. Play the 2 trilogy, or at least the first 2 of the trilogy, maybe not the third one. But I would never say, oh, you should play the first Assassin's Creed. That would make no sense to me anyway. Other people have their own opinions on that. That is my opinion on that one. It just wouldn't make any sense to get into that. Finally read The Last Ronin. Never read a TMNT comic before, but I thought it lived up to the hype. Yeah, that's a fucking quality. That's a good one. I got into TMNT comics just randomly. I was at a comic book shop with some money, and I saw a Ninja Turtles comic, and I didn't know that it started off as a comic. And I got a really fucking weird TMNT comic where they were on a different planet in a race, like a rat race style race. And it was really fucking weird. It was an unbelievably weird comic. And I was like, oh, I guess I need to read Ninja Turtles comics. So I did that for quite some time. I don't want to say it was a lifelong thing, but I did it I kept up with it for quite some time. The early comics are, I mean, it's a parody of Daredevil, and it isn't really playing for laughs. It's just like dark and great. Lashman says, I have a special place in my heart for AC1 and how buggy and broken the end of it is, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend going back to the rest of it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, there's a good video game in here. I wonder if they will ever make that good video game. And then eventually, they did make that good video game. All right, so yeah, the backpack becomes weapons here, and like, this is very silly. But yeah, the backpack becomes the weapon, becomes like shoulder or arm weapon things here. Very silly. But this is the alternate way you can have this kit do its thing. It's very silly to me. Oops. And this thing just raises and lowers, and it's weird. I gotta see if I can get this to balance. I don't think it's going to balance the way I want it to. So I might just take this off. Can I take this off? Yes. We'll take the gun off too. That way I can just get the pose I want with this kit. Like this. Yeah. And it's got the cool effect parts for no good reason. Like that. Go like that. Very silly. Very silly that this is a thing you can do with this kit. But I do like it. So we'll take a photo of that. Let's see. Yeah, if anybody else has been playing anything or watching anything, feel free to let me know. Let's get a photo here. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do it like this. We'll just do it like this. We'll stand it up. That way we can do this piece on here. Okay. And we can even do the gun on the shoulder and this on this shoulder. There we go. We can do it like that. Yeah. We'll just show the alternate way to have this, which is like this. Very silly. There. Now we'll just take a photo. All right. We did it. This is the Lightning Z Gundam from Gundam Build Fighters Try. It is the Zeta Gundam with a bunch of bullshit. It's all good bullshit. I did enjoy working on this. I think it is neat. It is a neat design. I do like the backpack being able to go and just float on here. It's a cool bit of business. It's got a big gun. Just a lot of fun accessories. Lord Crashington says, oh, Lord Crashington, I'm sorry I missed that. I apologize. I was talking about the AC1 thing. No, Lord Crashington, your chat message did go through. I missed it, so my apologies. I will read that now as I move this stuff out of my way here. I played some of that Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness on Switch 2, which is an interesting twitch on the Pokemon formula where you're not aiming to become the best trainer, just stopping the bad guys from using shadow Pokemon for some nefarious plot, so you capture them from the people using them and have to keep using them until you can purify them. Yes, I played the 2 Pokemon XD games for the GameCube, and they are... the thing that I will compare them to is there was a thing with Yu-Gi-Oh games where every other Yu-Gi-Oh game for handhelds was either the World Championship, so the rules and all the cards up to date as they could be. And then every other year, it was like a weird thing where there would be weird rules and a strange story. So if you want to play the official, it was every other year. And then if you wanted to play the weird ones, you got the weird ones. XD is weird Pokemon. It is a weird set of rules where you are freeing Pokemon from like a Team Rocket and then making it so that they can then be purified and then like hanging out. The old JRPG thing where my character's name is not in all caps while everyone else is in all caps. Yes, it's got to be in all caps so you know who the who is talking and if they're important or not. That game, I think both the XD games were fun because usually the consoles just had Stadium games, right? Pokemon Stadium, and it was just like a thing to interact with, like transfer your Pokemon from your handheld game to this game and then battle them, and like the animations would be cooler because it was a better console, So Gale, the Gale of Darkness was like different in a way that I was kind of into. All right, so our next kit, we finished this, so now the Lightning Z. So the next kit we'll be working on is the GM3. Booyah, the GM3. We'll make it big so you can see. Here's the GM3. That's what we're going to be working on there with its cool, weird shoulders. And it's very old school design. It's got a classic mobile suit design that I enjoy, and the shield. The shield is very reminiscent of the RX-72. This is a kit from 2011. We'll see if there's anything else I can tell you about this kit from... this plastic. Now, I'll say, this is a reissue, right? Weird beefed up legs. Yes. This plastic is not from 2011, but the design is. This is a reissue. I don't know what year this was reissued in. I can't tell you that. But I can tell you the design is from 2011. So the plastic is maybe this old, but definitely, probably not. Probably not as old as that. But again, the design is that old. Great colors on here. Looking forward to this. All right, we got C, A, B, and C, and we got the off-white. That is this off-white. The gray marker is going to look so fucking good on this off-white. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's going to look great. And then we've got our hand pieces are they're not on a letter, they're on the MP1. And then look at all of the fucking polycaps. Will we use all of these? I don't know, but we got a lot of polycaps, and we've got short beam sabers, which I also like to see. I do like to see the short beam sabers. Makes me happy to see them. We do have some stickers, not a ton of stickers, but we do have some. And then we also have some, I don't know if these are water slides or if these are dry transfers. I'm not sure, but we do have these here as well. I don't know what these are yet. They might be marking stickers, which are like they're basically, marking stickers are like, you apply them just like you would regular stickers, but they have like a kind of clear background to them. They might be marking stickers. I don't know. And then you can see we got a backpack. We've got the side skirts. Yes, so there are stickers that get applied here. Let me see if I can translate what this says. Let me use the old Google Translate and see if I can see what some of this says here using the camera feature here. Okay. Marking stickers. Okay, please apply the marking sticker as you like. Okay, so these are marking stickers. So they are not dry transfers or water transfers, which is good to know. Chest marking stickers. Okay, so these are marking stickers. Okay. Will I use any of them? I don't know. I might. I don't always. Again, I might. Yeah, this looks cool. The old GM3 mass-produced mobile suit. I like the shield. I like the shoulders, the missile launcher shoulders. I think those are all cool looking. Ooh, a little bit of color in this manual from 2011, so that's fun. It's fun. There's a little bit of color in there. Oh, our beam sabers. Yeah, beam sabers live in the backpack. That is a neat feature. And, you know, obviously no color in these instructions. But doesn't bother me. Okay. Yeah. The RGM 86R GM3. We're just going to call it the GM3. It's easier. Yeah, that is what we will be working on the streams for the next little while. As I said, I do have stuff coming in the mail. I don't have a lot. My backlog, there's not much in the backlog here. I have Bokata's kit there. Let's see. Let me get my let me get the thing here. What do I have in the backlog? All right, so Lightning Z Gundam, finished that up. I have the Bokata's Gelgoog from G-Quux. Is it my favorite Gelgoog of the 3 Gelgoogs? No. It was the one that I could get for a good price, because for whatever reason, it was the cheapest of the 3. So we got Bokata's Gelgoog. And I have a the Mega Mini Motion Golbat. Coming into in the mail. Oh, also Rowlet. We have Rowlet. Rowlet is very tiny. That's a quick little kit. I thought I was going to build that at the February subathon. Didn't get to that, so it'll probably go into the summer subathon. But we have other things coming in the mail. I have a kit that was bought off my Amazon wish list by someone. I don't know when that's going to arrive. I know what it is, but I don't want to say until it arrives. I bought the Python. I'll just show off a little bit here because I'm not going to get started with this, but I'll show the Python. The Python is the third-party Serpent custom from Endless Waltz. This is a modern, again, a third-party kit. This was not. This is like the modern take on that kit from the OVA / movie. It is made by Queen Show and is called the Python. It is a third party. We don't build a lot of third parties around here, but I don't think we're ever going to get a new modern version of that kit. So I was happy to get it, and then I'll go put that in there. That's coming in the mail. Also coming in the mail, the Wing Gundam entry grade. Let me get that in there. Wing entry. The Wing Gundam entry grade is another kit that I recently purchased that is in the mail. I haven't built an entry grade on stream in a while. I love a good entry grade. No stickers, no tools required, and you get a nice little kit. It is where everyone who wants to get into the hobby should start, in my opinion, is the entry grades. So I hope that this is a good one of those. And then the last thing that I have purchased that is in the mail, because I had to, as I said, I'm trying to restock the backlog here for some good stuff, is we built the big expensive version of it. Now, let's see how it compares with the cheaper version. That's right. It's the classic, which is the classic class Megatron. We built the big old Megatron. Now we're going to build the tinier, smaller Megatron at the smaller scale. And then I will be able to compare and contrast the $20 versus the $40. Do I think the $40 is going to be cooler than the $20? Probably, but I really want to know. And I think it's one thing to say like, oh, I'm comparing the Megatron against the Soundwave. Shockwave, not Soundwave, Shockwave. I'm like, well, they're different scales, so like it's not the best comparison. Now I will be able to in the future compare two Megatrons, and I'll be able to say this is the better Megatron. And I think that's important for me, your friend Pat, to just be able to say that stuff. Yeah, so that is stuff coming from the backlog. I also, in my backlog will be the next thing that I'll be building after the GM3 will be the kit that I'm building that is what was purchased off my Amazon wish list by somebody. Because I know there was the thing purchased, and so that will jump the queue and be the next thing, and then I'll have that in my backlog. There will probably be a few other things. There was talk that someone was going to send me a kit who has sent me a kit previously outside of the backlog or outside of the wish list. I have not heard on that, no confirmation on that. So I don't want to say what that is because I don't want people to get people's hopes up and then find out, oh yeah, I changed my mind. So I'm not going to bother about that. And then I will be making other purchases towards the end of the month probably. But for now, we should have enough good stuff to last us for a while. And then on Saturday, I'll start the GM3. That's the promise, is the GM3 will get started on Saturday. Because I didn't want to start it tonight because we were wrapping things up. And yeah, that's about it. I hope my audio was good tonight. I switched the cables, the USB-B to USB-A cable that I had. I swapped out with another one that I had, and I hope that sounded all right. I actually switched it on Tuesday when I was, streaming and doing Power Wash Simulator. I did finish that map, everybody. Update on Power Wash Simulator 2. You hadn't noticed anything. Okay, good to know. Well, if you haven't noticed anything, that's a good thing. Power Wash Simulator 2, the free map, added map of the miniature village, that's really fucking fun. I wrapped that up, and it's great. That's it. That's all I want to say about that. It's awesome. I'm excited for Adventure Time next month. I think that'll be real good. And I think that's going to do it for tonight's stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff and go hang out with them, spend a little time with them. And I don't know who we are going to go and raid, but we will do that in just a moment. Who is streaming and who do we want to go hang out with? Let's see. They're going to finish up, so we don't want to go do that. How long has this person been streaming for? Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to get this loaded. How long have they been going? 2 hours. I don't know how much longer my friend Heather is going to be streaming, but Lunar Jade, my friend Heather, did raid us on Tuesday, so we should return the favor and go raid her. So let's do that. Please feel free to come along on this raid. I think you'll have a good time. Heather's crew is awesome. She's great. And they've got a good little community there. So I think you'll have fun. So feel free to come along on this raid. Reminder, my next stream will be Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be starting a brand new model kit, the GM3, a kit from 2011. The plastic isn't probably that old, but it's an older kit, like a 15-year-old kit. So we'll build that next. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope to see you again on Saturday or Monday or next Tuesday for lots of anime talk. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.